Hello, my name is Bob Niels. I am the program chair for the Computer Programming and Database Management program here at Cincinnati State. Now that you're finishing up your first course in our program, I want to welcome you to the Computer Programming and Database Management program. In this video, what we want to do is make sure you completely understand what our program is all about. In doing so, I want to walk you through what our mission is so you understand what we're going to do for you. We're going to understand what the outcomes of all of this entire program is for you. I want you to make sure you understand all the learning outcomes. We'll talk about the curriculum and its majors. We'll talk about some of the initial core courses and how important they are to you. We'll talk about the tracks that you're going to select once you get into the curriculum, the capstone, and then finally, how to succeed. I'm hoping this video sets the tone for you, sets your expectations on what's to come, and also allows you to take accountability for your success as we move forward on your journey throughout our program. All right, let's get started. Our mission. I took a lot of time making sure this mission was correct, and I'm very proud of it, and I think it's something that it states exactly what we do. So let's look at this real fast, please. Prepare all students with the necessary technical competencies in software and database design, development, and implementation by classroom instruction and experiential learning to either meet the needs of the industry as an application software developer upon graduation or continue their education in pursuit of a relevant advanced degree. So our goal is to make you a professional, competent programmer, so that you can get a job after these 2 years. However, if your goal is to move on to a bachelor's degree, we welcome that also. We have worked hard with universities in the area to articulate, basically take your credits that you get here and smoothly transition to their programs. Our program has a set of learning outcomes that I want you to understand. Our program is committed to providing you the education to provide you the skills you need to be successful as a software developer. Based on our feedback from the industry, the following outcomes are what you must leave here with to be prepared to work for the industry. Let's walk through each one of these. Graduate will be able to collect, disseminate, analyze, and apply the requirements for a specific software development project. We're going to teach you to collect requirements. We're going to teach you how to break down those requirements. We're going to teach you how to take those requirements and develop a design from those requirements all the way through writing a program. The graduate will be able to write, test, and maintain software applications utilizing current and relevant programming languages. We try to keep up with all the current programming languages. It's really hard. Things change daily out there in the industry, as you may know or may not know. But for the most part, we're constantly analyzing what we're teaching, and we're making sure we're teaching the latest and the greatest based upon our flexibility and ability to get that to a course for you. The graduate will be able to design and implement a normalized relational database to meet the needs of the software development project. We find to become an application programmer, you have to know everything there is to know about databases. We feel we do a great job here in teaching this to you. You will practice it and practice it and practice it. By the time you get done, you'll be very good at developing a database from scratch based on requirements and developing a database, being able to look at a current database and be able to write queries from it and also incorporate databases into your programs. The graduate will be able to effectively utilize databases and database management systems to organize, store, and retrieve data for the use in application software. The graduate will be able to create application software that is intuitive for use by a wide range of users. Our goal is this. We also want to make you a professional programmer. We want to ensure that what you create meets the standards of professionalism. So we'll teach you how to develop GUIs and interfaces that are professional based upon the standards of the industry. The graduate will be able to effectively articulate their ideas, recommendations, and solutions. You're going to be part of teams throughout your entire curriculum. I want you to learn how to express yourself, express your ideas, make recommendations, and finally solutions. You'll have various opportunities throughout the curriculum to do this and practice this. The graduate will be able to lead or participate effectively in teams. As I spoke of before, you will be in teams. I like to see your leadership qualities come out. I want you to practice those leadership qualities as you go through our curriculum. These are things that the industry is dying for. People who are leaders, people who can speak, people who have ideas and can articulate them. I know this is not easy for many of you, okay? But with that said, we're going to practice it. I'm trying to bring that out of you a little bit because I know how important it is for your career. The graduate will demonstrate their ability to utilize appropriate resources to broaden their knowledge and apply the industry's latest development tools, techniques, and standards. As you will see in what we will discuss a little bit later on in this video, there's going to be a certain set of courses we're going to really teach you and hold your hand, if you will, making sure you get to the competencies and the confidence we want. And then we're going to kind of let you go and have you start, broadening your knowledge by utilizing the internet. We're going to point you into two directions. And these directions are going to be ones that you can explore and research to become a better developer. Why are we doing this? Because you have to do this in your career. Technology changes continuously. So with that said, you need to learn how to learn. And that's what that particular outcome states. And again, we will practice that. Every course in our curriculum has been developed to ensure you meet these outcomes. Every course in our curriculum has been analyzed to see how they apply to the outcomes. So every one of them applies one way or the other. Okay? Now that you're in our program, you may have, or you probably already have chosen a major. But since you're early in the program, it's really important that you've chosen the right major. Okay? And with that said, I'm happy to talk to you about this to make sure you're in the right major. If you're not in the right major right now, it's not that big a deal because basically everybody starts the first semester the same way. But let's walk through the majors we have under the Computer Programming Database Management program. We have three. We got Software Engineering Technologies. We have Computer Information Systems, and we have Computer Software Development. You see the acronyms there, SET, CINS, and CSD. We also have a certificate. Our certificate is called the Computer Software Development Certificate. It is an 18 credit hour certificate that consists of 6 classes. That certificate is primarily for people who already have a degree, who want to retool very, very quickly. That alone will not get you a job. That with maybe another degree will. So if you're looking for a certificate as a quick way of gaining a job, I'm not quite sure there is a quick way. So let's discuss that before you just do the certificate. Okay? So primarily all of you should be in a major. And with that said, let's walk through each one of them. SET. SET, the students gain practical knowledge and experience in the software development process and methods using relevant current programming languages, databases, and database query languages. As you're going to see for all our majors, they basically do this. We already kind of talked about this from our mission. However, what SET does, which was a little bit different than CIS or CINS, I should say, and CSD, is the students will also gain knowledge of core math and science concepts and skills. Once completed, the graduate will earn an Associate of Applied Science, okay, and be prepared for the workforce as a skilled computer programmers and systems integrators. Graduates may continue their education in a bachelor's degree program in engineering, engineering technology, mathematics, or computer science. So people who are gravitating more on the computer science side of things, more mathematics side of things, you may want to do SET. Computer Information Systems, CINS is our acronym here, is relatively the same thing. You're going to gain that same technical knowledge. However, the students also gain the knowledge of core practices in business and or healthcare. So this is more of an IS degree, okay, in this case, an information systems degree. You're going to have the same technology, you're going to become the same application programmer, but you're going to complement that knowledge with understanding of business and or healthcare. Why? Because that's pretty much where you're going to be hired at, is businesses and or healthcare types of situations. Again, You're going to be prepared as a computer programmer, but graduates may also continue on and get a get a bachelor's degree in computer science, information systems, business informatics, or business administration. So as you see, it's more tied toward business than it was to more mathematics. Which one is right for you? Well, I think it takes a little bit of discussion. And once again, I'm happy to sit down and talk to you about this to make sure we have you in the right program. From a technical point of view, they're the same. It's from the complementary point of view where they differ. CSD, I want to make sure everybody understands this, was developed primarily to be an online degree. I say primarily. You can take a lot of the courses live if you want to. However, it was developed to be an online degree. It's for students who probably work all day, cannot get to school, needs a flexibility in their schedule to be able to take this type of degree. Okay, so with that said, make sure that you don't want an online degree. If you want an online degree, this is for you, and there's many students who do, and we're happy to be able to provide this to you. However, if you do not, make sure you do not pick CSD. CSD is going to do the same thing. It's going to give you that technical, practical knowledge. CSD is basically technical classes, along with the state required classes of English and math and arts and humanities. It does not have any complementary type of classes like business or math and engineering type classes that we spoke of about SET and CINS. Once again, you can pretty much do anything with this. You continue on, you can go to a bachelor's degree in computer science and so on. The problem with this degree, if you do pursue a bachelor's degree, is you're not going to have many of the complementary classes that they like. So you're not going to have as many credit hours transfer as you would if you were actually in SET or CINS. I hope that makes sense. Okay? Our curriculum is set up in really two phases. When I built this curriculum, I wanted to do two things. I wanted to make you a competent beginner database programmer. And then what I wanted to do is, once I have established that confidence in you, I want to take you to the next level. I want to take you to a level that's more advanced and more what the industry is looking for. Our approach to this is a little bit different than we've done before, but I think it's the right approach. I think if we can get you confident as a programmer, you can take off. And that's how this program is set up. When we talk about our initial core courses, these are the ones you must master. We want you to do really, really well in these, okay? Let's talk about each one and talk about what we're going to be doing in these courses and making sure you do master them the best of your ability. In some cases, if you don't master them, we want you to take them again. It's not a bad thing to do because once you understand the core courses, once you understand and get this foundation, you can build upon that very, very easily. If you don't leave this core course, these initial core courses, I should say, with a strong foundation, you will struggle all the way through the curriculum and also into your jobs. That's what we don't want to do. We want to make sure you're ready to move on. Okay? So anyway, the foundations of programming, which many of you are listening to this video in. The goal here is to understand some key terms. Make sure we're all saying the same thing. We want to start conditioning you to start thinking like a programmer. Okay? We introduced you to, or we will introduce you to structured English using sequential, conditional, and iterative structures. You will start writing those solutions, those algorithms in this class. Start solving problems. Remember, this degree is a problem-solving degree. We want you to turn into a very, very good problem solver. We want you to learn how to test your solutions. We want you to understand the program, the curriculum, and the student's responsibilities. That's what this video is all about. And finally, we want to make sure you're ready to move on to the next set of courses by ensuring that all your technologies are set up on your home computer or your laptop computer. This way, you can walk into these courses without any concern about these technologies and be able to start this focusing on the content versus worrying about if does my computer work with it. All right. Now, when I look at IT foundations, the goal of foundations is to get you started. You know, our goal is not to make you a 100% ready to go. You understand logic perfectly. If you're coming out of it and you're feeling pretty good about logic and you're starting to get it, good for you. If you're still a little leery about it, that's fine, because we're going to continue to build your logical set of skills. We're going to continue to allow you to practice this. The problem with logic is you can't keep reading about it. The problem with the logic has to be something that you can inherently see. It's logic, right? It's something that you have to be able to see how to solve the problem. Don't get frustrated. Just keep practicing and keep learning based upon how your instructor continues to give you solutions and walks through your solutions and so on. Okay? So hopefully this course has been fun for you. Once it gets you started, I don't want you being too scared right now. I want you just moving on. But hopefully you're walking out of this with a good beginning of what it takes to be a computer programmer. Once you're completed with IT 100, you should go into IT 101, which is Programming 1. We're going to continue with problem solving. We're going to continue with our design. We're going to continue with testing. The things you did in 100, we're going to keep embracing and move on with that. In addition, we're also going to start basic programming. What I mean by that, we're going to get into writing programming code. All right? We're going to write programs with the following programming structures. We're going to deal with sequential and conditional in Programming 1. We're going to start teaching you how to write programs professionally using proper industry GUI design techniques and naming conventions. We're going to incorporate variables. We're going to incorporate procedures and functions. We've really narrowed the scope of what this class used to be to something that we feel we want to allow you time to really get your hands around it and grasp it, especially certain areas, conditional programming, procedures and functions, and so on. You have plenty of time and plenty of practice to do these things in this course. Your goal is to practice, 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 and get this knowledge down. The other core course I think kind of complements Programming 101 is IT 111, which is Database Design in SQL. Here we're going to learn to design a database based on requirements. We're going to learn to take that design and build a physical database, a physical relational database, sorry. We're going to do that in Microsoft SQL Server. If you don't know what that is, you will once you take this class. You're going to learn SQL. SQL is actually a language. It's called Source Query Language, okay? And so with that said, you're going to learn how to do inserts, updates, deletes, selects, etc. You will be very competent in developing SQL out of this class. You'll be surprised how far you get in understanding your knowledge of databases and SQL. SQL is a very, very popular thing in industry. Industry is dying for people who understand SQL. So completing this class alone makes you very marketable already. You'll enjoy it. Our goal is that you walk out of these classes and knowing how to do what you need to do to move on to the next class. If we feel you're not ready, we will tell you, and we will probably recommend that you retake the class again. This has happened to many students, and usually after they retake the class, they walk out with tons more confidence than they would have been if they just moved on. You might be telling yourself, I don't want to retake a class again because that's going to delay everything and cost me more money. Trust me, if you don't get these classes down, if you don't get the content that's in these two classes we just spoke of down, you will be not doing well in future classes, which will also delay everything and cost you money. I've seen situations where people got all the way down toward the end and realized they need to go back to the beginning again. I don't want to do that anymore. I want you to be able to make sure you understand what you need to understand coming out of these courses. If the first time doesn't do it, you and I need to talk, and we'll determine if we need to take the course again. Many people have, and it's not that big a deal. Now, what's the probability of you doing that? I don't know, 10% maybe, maybe less than that. But the goal is we want you strong in these courses. Does that make sense? So again, be easy on yourself. We'll see where you go. Hopefully you get these down the first time and it won't be much of an issue. Once you're finished with those two courses, 101 and 111 that we spoke of, you're going to go into Programming 2. Programming 2 is we're going to continue on with our structures, and we're going to talk about the iterative structure now. We're going to take the databases that you just learned in 111 and incorporate that now into your application. We'll do that by using embedded SQL, and you're also going to learn about stored procedures and views. You're going to learn about arrays, and you're going to learn about string manipulation. I think it's a great course. I think once you get done with this course, your knowledge of programming really starts beefing up. Make sense? Another course that's part of the initial core courses is Object-Oriented Programming. The industry requires you to understand object-oriented programming. Object-oriented is a methodology. It's a way of doing something. Its goal is to allow for reuse for the most part. There's a lot of other goals there, but for the whole piece it's around reuse, doing things one time. You'll hear about this quite a bit in your courses, that programmers and developers want to do things one time and be very efficient with their programs and allow others to use their things that they have developed that they may need. Does that make sense? So what we did with CPDM 130 is we're introducing a new language, and the new language is going to be Python. Python's a very popular language right now, and with that, that's what we're going to introduce it with. And then we will get in and spend the majority of the time understanding object-oriented programming using Python. Once you're finished with those core courses, okay, we feel you will be a very competent programmer. Think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 courses that you will take dealing with programming. If you multiply 15 weeks, you get the idea. So there's a lot of weeks there that you're going to be spending. What's that? 60, 75 weeks of learning how to program. Our hope is that you walk out of there feeling really good about programming and can pretty much program just about anything. The goal then is to have you go find a track, okay? I should say select a track. So once you're completed with the initial core courses, you will then pick a 2-course concentration track. Everybody needs to pick one of these 3 tracks, okay? Each track is designed to push you to becoming a state-of-the-art programmer using current methodologies and techniques. At the completion of each track, you should have a strong portfolio that you can show at all of your job interviews. So these tracks are ones we're going to push you. You're going to be learning some new things, but you're also going to be pushed a little bit. We're going to push you to go learn on your own, as I mentioned before. We're going to push you to build big applications, possibly working with teams, possibly, and building portfolios. What do I mean by portfolios? We want you to write good, complex sets of programs that you can take out and show employers what you've done here so they can feel confident about hiring you. Our employers are asking for such a thing, and we want to provide that for you and provide the means for you to do these and build these portfolios and help you out. Again, our goal is to get you ready for a job. And I think by doing it this way, you will be more than ready for these jobs that are out there. Okay? The tracks are 3. It's either a C programming track, a Java programming track, or a web programming track. You might be saying, Bob, I don't know which one to choose. Well, you and I should sit down and discuss it and talk about which one would be better based upon what your goals are. Okay? I believe these tracks will stay the same for quite a few years. They may change over time as technology changes, but right now we're seeing C, Java, and web programming as the big 3 things that are in the industry. Another question you may have, well, what if I want to take 2? What if I want to do all 3? I hear that a lot. Well, you can take 2 if you like, and we'll talk about that here in a second. However, if you want to do all 3, that's going to be beyond what the requirements are for your degree here. So C programming, Java programming, or web programming. Once again, we're going to dive into these. You already know how to program now. You already know about object-oriented. You already know about database programming. Now what you're going to do is take those skills, apply them to new sets of languages, and escalate and advance your knowledge to meeting industry standards on what they expect their professional programmers to be. In addition to the concentration track, you will complement it with another 2-course elective track. Our electives are more broad than our concentrations. I want you to focus on one of those 3 for a concentration, but when it comes to electives, we are basically always adding to it to allow you flexibility and based upon what you want to do and what you want to pursue. Yes, you can take C programming, Java, or web, meaning in your concentration track, if you decided you wanted to take Java, for instance, but you also want to do some web, you can do that. However, if you want to span out from those typical concentrations and do data analytics, you can do that. Network communications, you can do that. Our brand new gaming development curriculum that complements going to use C to finish that up, you can do that. All right. The gaming development will start around 2020 based upon when you're listening to this video. It may have already started or it's coming soon. All right. If you got interest in that, let me know and we'll talk about it more. I say etc. there because once again, we're constantly adding new things. There's also additional tracks out there on IBM programming, on mobile application programming, and such. All right. So we're pretty excited about how this is set up, and it's easy to add a track here at Cincinnati State based upon what the industry is asking. At the conclusion of all your courses, or near the conclusion of all your courses, everybody must take and complete the capstone. The capstone is mandatory to be able to graduate with the computer programming database management majors. Everybody will be in one capstone class, meaning based upon your, no matter what your major is, I should say, you'll all be sharing the same class, okay? But it can never be subbed. What I mean by that, you can't take another class in lieu of it. You must take the capstone. In the capstone, you'll be placed on a team of 3 to 4 people. Each team will determine a project and complete the project, providing the deliverables throughout the system development lifecycle. You might be asking what the system development lifecycle is. Another course you will take in our curriculum is called Systems Analysis and Design. In there, you will learn about the system development lifecycle. The capstone, in a sense, is your final test. It's your dissertation. It's your boards. It's your whatever you want to say when it comes to concluding a curriculum. It's basically saying you're ready to graduate. In most cases, your talents will be exposed in this class. If you successfully met the PLOs, those are the program learning outcomes that we discussed earlier in this video, as described, you will do great. Okay, as long as you took accountability and met all those PLOs, you're going to do really well in these courses, or in the capstone, I should say. But if you didn't, you will not. And so I'm going to say it one more time. If you did not, you will not. Now, our hope is, as I tried to explain earlier, we don't allow you to get to the capstone, if you're going to fail. We want to ensure that you're going to be successful. We want you to be successful. That's our goal. But so with that said, if somehow you skate by, if somehow, you decided to not do the things we're telling you to do. We're going to talk about all this here in a second. If somehow you, I don't know, got a hold of the test and thought it was cool that you were able to just copy it without really doing it yourself, this will show in the capstone. And as I promise you, and this is my only threat in this video, because I don't want to threaten people, I will not graduate you if you do not show the competency needed to be able to graduate from this curriculum. But once I said before, if you just follow what we state to do, if you follow the curriculum and do what's necessary, the capstone will be a lot of fun, it'll be a breeze, and you'll be very impressed with the conclusion of what you actually do in this capstone with your team. Based on what I just said there, I want to walk through a couple things about how to succeed. I get asked that question a lot. Success in this program does not have to be hard. It really isn't. It should be fun, but it does require work. Unfortunately, you cannot learn this by taking a pill. You've got to be able to, you got to practice, and you got to practice, and you got to practice. But here are my steps to success. Understand this presentation of the curriculum, all right? Understand the programming learning outcomes. Understand what I just went through. If you need to go through it again, do it. If you need to review the PowerPoint, it will be available for you. With that, though, understand it and take responsibility for it. Take accountability for everything I'm stating in here. We will help you in every way. We promise to help you in every way. but only you have the control to put the time and the effort needed to truly learn the material and gain the skills necessary. Only you. We can't do this for you. We cannot, you don't have to figure things out. You're going to get stuck. We're going to talk about that here in a second. Only you can pursue it, and only you can figure it all out. All right? We'll help you, but we're not going to do it for you. I love telling students to embrace the learning. It's an easy thing to say, I know, but enjoy it. Have fun with it. If you're in this major, you should like what you're doing. If you find you're just hating doing this stuff, let's talk. Okay, this major isn't for everybody, and that's why there's a lot of people making a lot of good money doing this as a profession. But embrace it, have fun with it, don't fear it, dive into it. It's not that big a deal. When I say that, meaning you're going to struggle at first. Allow yourself to struggle. Embrace the challenges. Programming is full of solving problems. Embrace them. We want to solve them. Want to solve those problems. The more you practice it, the better you're going to get. I promise you this. The more you practice solving problems, the better you're going to get at solving problems. Embrace the problem. Go after it. Enjoy it. Embrace getting stuck. You will get stuck. Okay? Learn to get yourself unstuck. Okay? At first, we'll help you with that. But then you need to learn from each instance to be able to adapt to, I guess that's for the next time you get stuck, and how you attack that problem and how you dealt with it at that point in time. Does that make sense? So every time you get stuck, it's an experience. Learn from that experience. I'd always like saying this, and people look at me really funny when I say this. Embrace failure. Okay? I know nobody wants to fail. Everybody's worried about their grades. I want you to worry about the learning, not the grades. Okay? It doesn't mean you're going to fail the course. Failure means that you didn't get something to work the first time. That's going to happen a lot of times in this curriculum. That's okay. All right? Failure is part of learning how to program. Each failure is an experience. Learn how to make those experiences part of your learning. And I'm going to guarantee this. The more you fail early, the more you allow yourself to get stuck, the more you allow yourself to get stuck and figuring it out yourself on how to get unstuck or learning how to get unstuck yourself, the faster you will become a great programmer. If you avoid it, if you go, oh my God, I don't understand this, so I'm not going to do my homework, I just don't understand it. That's avoidance. Don't avoid anything. Dive in both feet. Have fun with it. Understand you're going to get stuck. Understand most of your fellow students are going to get stuck. It's okay. The faster you go do this, the faster you're going to become a very good programmer. I promise you. It is the formula to doing well in this curriculum. Do your best on all assignments and come to class prepared. I know many of you are busy. I know many of you are going to be taking a lot of courses. I know many of you are probably going to be working. I know many of you probably already have families. I know that is a really busy thing to do, but please come to class or be prepared always for that next course. If you find you're doing too much and you're falling behind, come talk to me immediately, okay, so I can help you, or talk to your teachers, whomever, but talk to people. Let us know what's going on. If you're falling behind, talk to us so we can help you out a little bit. We're not going to do anything for you. We're not going to do it for you, I should say, but we'll make recommendations on how you can get caught up and how you should attack what your situations that you're in. Again, our goal is to make you successful, but we cannot do it for you. Learn in class what you did wrong when you come to class. And if you come prepared and you did get stuck, learn in class what you did wrong or where you went off path, okay? Learn from this and apply what you learned to the next programming assignment. Does that make sense? Learn to debug your code. We talk about this a lot, but students kind of to avoid the whole concept of debugging your code. Learn to get really good at debugging your code. It will save you hours upon hours upon hours of time. Okay? It's part of it. Very rarely do you write a perfect program. You must write usually you write a program and there's some bugs in it. You got to find it. You got to learn how to test your programs and you got to learn how to debug your programs. It's part of it. Use all of your resources, mainly the internet. It will take some practice, but many of the answers are there. When I first started this career way long ago now, we had no such thing as the internet. Okay, we didn't have things to help us out, people to help us out. We had to go to other people or figure it out on our own. So with that, I'm a little bit jealous of all of you because now you start with this great thing called the internet sitting there that for the most part can tell you just about every answer of what you're looking for. However, the key is knowing when the answer is right because you're going to get a lot of different answers on the internet. So we'll teach you how to do that a little bit. You'll practice it as you move on and so on. Okay? Ask questions in class. Don't sit there and be quiet. Ask questions. If you don't understand something, ask it. Trust us, you are not the only person in class that has that question. I know sometimes students feel like they're sitting there and I'm the only one that doesn't understand this. I'm not going to ask the question unless you fall further behind. I can promise you, I've been doing instructing now for quite a while, long time now. With that said, you're not the only one. Many of the same people in that class would have just wished you would have asked the question. So ask, okay? Ask for help from your instructors. Use them as much as you possibly can during class, after class, during their office hours, whatever it takes, use them. That's what we're here for. As I mentioned before, if life gets in the way, we understand. You all are very busy. We get that. With that said, we still can't give you a pill to learn all this. You're going to have to learn it yourself. You're going to have to, take responsibility for your learning. We'll do everything we can, but we're not going to do it for you. You must do it. But if life gets in the way that prevents you from doing it, you need to talk to us immediately so we can help you. Don't fall a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks behind in a course. It's disaster. I will tell you this, anybody who falls 2 to 3 weeks behind, I would say the probability then of withdrawing from that course or failing that course is about 80 to 90%. You must immediately address it. So as soon as you find yourself falling behind a little bit, address it with us so we can help you. Please, okay, do that. Finally, know that we want you to succeed. We're here for you. We will do anything to help you succeed outside of doing it for you. We will push you. We will be your friend at sometimes, and we're going to also be your parent maybe at some times, where we're going to push you hard, and you're not going to understand why we're doing some things. Okay, so we're going to take different approaches to push you to do this well. So please be aware of that. But in the end, we really want you to succeed. We're proud of what we do, and we beam with pride when you graduate and you get that job. That's why we do what we do here at Cincinnati State. That's why we're here teaching. Okay, I enjoy helping people get prepared for success, and that's what I do this as a profession. Okay, so we want you to do well. So please understand that. All right. I know it's a long video. I'm hoping you stuck with me on this. But with that said, I just want to make sure and prepare you right out of the chute as you begin our program to get ready for what's ready to come. Okay? And I'm hoping this video helps you do that. And once again, I am Bob Niels. I'm the program chair. Come see me at any time. I'm anxious to get to know you, help you, advise you, and hopefully educate you. I wish you much luck, and then I want you to really enjoy the journey that you're about to partake, okay? Let's go through this together, and let's hope that within a couple years, you're out doing what you want to be doing and embarking on a very successful career. Take care.